me, keep a 20 on me, case emergency. Ain't no cap in my rap. Really, I know it's the truck. More profit mean extra. Emerald white off full of pressure. That cereal milk smoking right. But that Obama rant some special. Kansas City, I'm a chief. Shout out to K5 on this one. Country thinking I was hustling. I don't way you had it on me. Booming like OJ the Juice. Till a nigga told on me. From now on, it's relentless. Ain't no love, we ain't friendly. If she want me on him. No love lost, she get the business. No love lost, still the motto. Empire.
All right, y'all. Hello. Welcome in. This is Birds of a Feather Podcast with your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
And this is the Hawks Pod. Welcome on in, bro. This is our post All-Star break one. This is our first one. We getting back into the money, back into the season. Not a good start. not a good start getting back into the season. Taj, so our boys, they lost versus Toronto. Shakeups in the starting lineup. Seems like coach wants to try some new things, but all in all, 2-point loss against the Raptors. And once again, it's one of those moments where team is floundering down the stretch and they're losing close games. It's really frustrating for this being the type of team we have, but what do you think of the season so far? And where are you landing on the Hawks as a whole right now?
The same place I'm landing with the Falcons. I'm just here. That's basically what it is. I'm just here right now.
I know it.
I'm optimistic for the future, but the present is just like, what are we doing? We got talent.
So that's what I wanted to talk to you about, because like this is one of those moments to where we didn't move Hunter at the trade deadline, right?
And I think he gotta go.
But we didn't move him at the trade deadline, but now you've moved him to the bench. You know what I'm saying? And you started Sadiq Bey, which is like, it's not like you were just in this ultimate groove while Hunter was hurt and you just want to keep things going with Bey. It seemed like if you're going to keep Hunter, I think he's a better fit, but it just seems to me like if you want to keep Hunter, you would play him in the starting lineup.
Hey, you know who else would be a good fit? AJ.
Yeah, see, now AJ's down with the college part right now, bro. That's all right. So we was gonna get to that, but we could take it now, bro. Like, if you look at this game, right? You look at this game. You look who made strides within the game. First off, Trey had a terrible freaking game, bro. A terrible game. I took him for 35 plus points, rebounds, and assists. But my man was at My man was at 21. He had 11, 7, and 3. Just an absolutely terrible game. Murray showed up, but like it's another one of those moments where if Murray's showing up, Trey doesn't. If Trey shows up, Murray doesn't. Like, there's supposed to be some dynamic duo, and it's like you can't get a good night out of both of them. And that part's really frustrating. Not 100%. Another thing that I don't necessarily find really appealing about this roster as currently constructed is that Clint is what you said you wanted, but now he doesn't seem to fit what this team wants to do and how they want to move or pursue the ball.
They should have moved him at the deadline and just got double O in the starting lineup.
And that's the thing. You're playing Oneku 35 minutes now, but you got Clint starting. It's one of those things where it's like, it preys on the idea of like, bro, do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you want? You know what I'm saying? It does not feel like there's a cohesive measure of like, hey, this is what I want this team to look like going forward, right? That doesn't seem what you want to do. Now you look at it, you got JJ back in the lineup. He played 37 minutes. Man gave you 12 points, bro. 12 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. Like, the Raptors defense ain't that good. You got Bogey playing starter minutes. Bogey almost had 30 minutes. Shot the ball 17 times, bro. So between here the part. I want you to listen to some of these shot attempts, bro. Sadiq Bey, 15 shots. Murray, 18 shots. Hunter, off the bench. 25 minutes off the bench. 16 shots. Bogey, 17 shots. Trae Young shot the ball 13 times.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Shot the ball 13 times, bro. Like,
the people who should be getting the most shots up, obviously Trae, DeJounte, and then I'm going to have, the third spot could fluctuate, but I'm going to go with Jalen.
I'm fine with Jalen had 13 attempts. Now, watching the game, I definitely understood how they were playing the pick and roll. You know what I'm saying? Trae getting downhill, Trae getting into the middle of the defense. A lot of they were straight shutting down the dribble drive handoffs. So like I understood that the shooters were open. So like I do see Sadiq getting a high number of percentage. I see Bogey getting a high number of percentage. Like Bogey shooting 17 shots within the flow of the game. There were only maybe like 2 shots that I was just like, Bogey, what are you doing? Otherwise, it's more so off dribble penetration, catch and shoot, right? And we have a lot of possessions. So like part of that makes sense. But Clint looks like he was clogging the lane half the game. You shorten the rotation to 9 players. Double O couldn't play because the ankle was sprained. Fine, thank God you got Patty Mills and freaking Wesley Matthews out of the lineup. But if this is the next person you're going to cut is Garrison Matthews to go down to your 8-man playoff rotation. But like, bro, you're not even going to stay in the 10 slot playing like this. The Raptors are 3 games behind them right now, bro.
And the way they playing, they're going to catch up.
Easily. Charlotte won 4 in a row. Like, if you count what happened before.
I thought they was dead in the water, and they showing a little life.
Easily, bro. What is it going to look like if you lose this position to Charlotte? And I think, not to overreact off one game, because we're going to get into what's coming up on the rest of the week. But like, this right here is a microcosm of, we've all heard it, Trae's going to the Lakers this offseason, right? And like, no one wants that. But like,
here's the thing. If they don't make that play, if they don't even at least make the play in, I think Trae gone.
And that's where I was about to get to, bro. I think that's what it is. Bro. If you can't, with this core, at least make the play in, what is he sticking around for?
Yeah, nothing.
He's going through 4 coaches, right? He's going through 4, and I honestly believe Trae when he talks about the fact that like, yo, he loves Atlanta.
He only been in the league 6 years now?
Yeah.
6 years of 4 coaches is insane.
You started with Lloyd Pierce.
I know in football, like we say, it's bad for a quarterback to go through different coordinators, but they go through 4 head coaches in 6 years is insane.
Yeah. You had Lloyd Pierce, then you had Nate, then you had an interim who was basically for a game, and then you had.
I'd much rather be a football coach than a basketball coach. Because basketball coach, they ain't got no patience. They letting your ass go ASAP.
They really do not, bro. They really do not, and they call it coach killing. But like, you got to learn how to coach stars.
What do you expect when you drafting these like 18-year-olds? Like they gonna grow. They gotta grow. Like it's really not fair as an NBA coach because you need time. Because you're coaching a relatively young team, or you're coaching people who only care about the money, and like a lot of times these coaches can't pick their roster. They got to just deal with what they got.
Oh, you can't pick your
roster.
roster.
Only cares about money and not. Yeah. So if you got a player that only cares about the money and don't really care about the game, what you gonna do? Like, it's a damn situation.
And if I look at it, I mean, what can he? We could go back and forth about his rotations, right? So like, I would be okay with swapping out Bay for Hunter, um, putting Double O in the starting lineup, and then having a front court of Hunter Johnson and Onefi, right? Yeah, we could argue about the rotations, but it doesn't change the fact that like your backcourt is where your money's at. Your backcourt is what you've given up draft capital for, right?
Right.
And like it seems like Coach has this great connection with Murray. They're both Seattle guys. You know what I'm saying? Like it seems like that's where your connection is, but like that's not your bread and butter of the team, bro.
It's not.
It's not, and that's nothing against DJ, bro. DJ is awesome. I like him.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. I think him and Trey actually work well together, but they just have not struck a balance of understanding when to defer to one another.
They need a coach that understands that, and it can put them in a situation. I don't think Snyder is the coach for this team, and I wouldn't be surprised if Snyder got fired after this season.
Which is crazy. Now you're talking about another coach, and I think what's more plausible, if I'm just asking you, because you followed the NBA, you know what I'm saying, and self-professed, you're one of the people where it's like I kind of just have it on the periphery, and then I lock in on the playoffs, right? I'm one of those people who's like, I for a time was a game to game type person, right? Then I kind of backed up, had more of a overview, and then locked in on the playoffs. Now I'm back to like game by game because obviously, you know, you want to deliver Hawks news and Hawks pod and whatnot. And like coming back into it and hyper focusing on it and seeing each game to game, how this team is flowing. There's this unity here. There's this unity here. And if you look to fire this coach again, it is far more plausible to just blow up the team than it is to fire another coach. It's far more plausible, right? Like, see what you can get back for DJ. See what you can get back for Hunter. See what you can get back for Trey. Bogey's contract going to expire. You're going to let that run out. You're going to let Clint contract run out. And then what? You're going to have Johnson. You're going to have Jalen. Basically the same way you had John Collins after you let that group disband.
I think Jalen gives you a little more, but I get what you're saying.
Just in,
the thing is like, yeah, it probably is more plausible to blow the team up than fire the coach, but when you blow the team up, you're going to end up firing the coach anyway.
which is 100%. 100%. I get that. Snyder's not going to stay around for a rebuild. And there's no commensurate value that you're going to get back for Trey. Like you're not Trey is a star in the league. Is he a superstar? No, but Trey's a star. There's nothing you're going to get back player-wise for Trey that's going to match what he gives you as currently constructed. There's no team, especially considering what he makes. There's no team that's going to be able to match the salaries. It's going to be able to give you anything back. You're gonna take first round picks.
Yeah.
For now, Murray, you might get us like. Actually, Murray for Murray sounds like something that would make a lot of sense for me.
Murray from Murray.
For Jamal Murray. Just in terms of commensurate pieces. If Denver really wanted to just like lock in on the defensive end, I wouldn't say that it made sense for Denver. I was just saying in terms of the type of player he is, that's the type of, you could get a 1-for-1 value for the type of player he is, right? I think that Trae Young is a step above Jamal Murray in terms of point guards, in terms of players, like period. I think Trae's a better player.
Playoff Murray different, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, playoff Trae is different.
He is. They both different, but you know.
I mean, one of them has the best player in the game on their team, like, or one of the best players in the game on their team.
That boy Jokic different too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Murray's playing with him, but speaking,
he's the best lazy player I've ever seen in my life. This man look like he legitimately hates basketball. He just be out here, man. Fuck this shit, bro. Buckets. Here you go again. Buckets.
let me get 4 or 5 assists on the back end while I'm messing with you.
Oh man, I don't feel like shooting this. Hey, score it.
Nah,
All right.
he has been killing it this year. But crazy part is, well, we'll get to MVP conversation in City Talk. Just to wrap it up on the team, bro. Just wrap it up on the team. I think that this is a bad showing. This 2-point losses once again. Last second losing situation. Couldn't bring it back in. If we look defensively, you let Scotty Barnes get 20 and 10. Side note, he is never beating those acoustic allegations. You understand me? Like, he ain't never beating them things, boy. Hey, my boy. Yo, you seen him for real, bro?
Nah, so you talking about he was doing that little run up the tunnel?
Not even that one, bro. When he tried to do the celebration in dude's face, bro, I said, yo, Scotty, yo,
so
he might be a little bit, bro. He might be a little bit.
Man, I got this Discord I'm in, and one of my friends in there, he was saying something about, oh yeah, man, I think this guy's acoustic. I'm like, we was talking about Jameis Winston. He said, I think Jameis Winston might be acoustic. And I was like, what the hell does acoustic mean? He was like, well, that's what we say because you can't say the other word. I'm like, oh. So like, this is all new to me. It's just like I just had this conversation like yesterday, so it's funny that you bringing it up.
Yeah, because hey, look, that's the quickest way to banning and demonetization. There we go. Hey, them words be kicking my ass, boy. Like, I don't be lying. I might be a little myself. You understand? I be talking to my wife. Whenever I do something, I'll be like,
shout out to the acoustic community. Y'all are rock stars.
Factual. Every time I do something crazy, I be telling my wife, like, that's that tism showing up in me, dog. Don't judge me, bro. Don't judge me. don't judge me. I like numbers. I like puzzles. Anyway,
I think everyone got a little guitar player in them somewhere.
Yeah, little bit, but nah. All seriousness, bro. Like, Scotty, he balled out, right? And even for a game this close, for you to be +6 in the box score playing 37 minutes, bro, like, you're a difference maker in the game, right?
Yeah.
Quickly almost shot them out of the game, to be honest with you. I'm just now seeing his plus minus is -1, but like, his threes kept him in the game because he went 6-4-11. But overall, he was 9-20. He damn near shot him out the game. He went 24-7-5. It's been a good trade. It has been a good trade for Toronto. Obviously, it's been a good trade for New York. But
OG been balling.
Yeah, but I hate that. I hate the idea that, like, we are. These are the type of teams that we're in the league of. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was coming into this season, one, I didn't think the Knicks were going to be this good. But when I thought about the teams we were going to be competing against, it was definitely like, it was the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? It was the Knicks. It was the Pacers. It was that mid-tier type of teaming. And then if we caught Boston, if we caught Milwaukee at the right time, we could make it a series. Now, bro, like, I barely see us getting to the first round, and if we get there, it's a warm up, it's a practice session. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just 4 extra games for the sake of what?
No, but it's funny, right? Because it's like, I'm going back to the Knicks. I'm thinking about like Jalen Brunson versus like Trae Young. Like, Brunson has a much more positive outlook because The team's doing good, and I'm just thinking it's gonna piss me off if they trade Trey Young and he goes to a team like the Lakers, and then it's a bigger market and the expectation to win's a little greater there. But it's gonna piss me off where when he goes in there and starts getting the recognition that he should have got here.
And I think that's going. All right, let's put a pin in that because we're going to discuss Atlanta as a quote unquote big market in city talk as well. All right, so let's look ahead to next week. Next week we're sitting at 4 games. We've got Orlando coming in. Your boy, Paolo. One of the very few people in the league right now leading his team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. Like, different. Yeah, I don't think most people recognize like that's young LeBron shit. You understand me? Like
it is. No, I don't think people are aware of how good he really is.
Yeah, he's 22-7-8 or 22-7-5 right now. He's doing it all. He was a legit all-star this year. You gotta give him that. And averaging almost 1 steal a game, 0.8 blocks. So you just call it a blocking game. So like he's usually when you're those bigger body guys, but you're a bit more slender on the slender side, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not as engaged defensively. Yeah, you're not overly engaged defensively. He is engaged defensively. But speaking of defense on that team, Jalen Suggs. Most people, y'all ain't been watching the Magic like that. Bro.
He a pit bull.
But he one of them ones on defense, bro.
Because he using that football background. Even though he was a quarterback, he using that football physicalness like that you can only get from playing that sport.
100%. Like, and he every bit of 6'4". He's every bit of 6'4". Now, if you look at his slashes,
he like about 2. He's solid though.
Yeah,
he ain't like no basketball 6'4". He got solid like.
Yeah, I think he's like 205, 210. Yeah, he might be
210. Like
he's up there. He's up there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like conversely, if you look at somebody like on his team, Anthony Black, I think he's like 6'5", 6'6". He like maybe 200,
but he's
maybe 205. You know what I'm saying? 210. You know what I'm saying? You exact same weight, 3 inches shorter, filled out. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, Suggs has been balling, bro. And I didn't even notice because
Wagner cold too.
Boy, Franz looking nasty, bro. But like, I didn't even just to the guard situation. I'm used to seeing Cole Anthony, right? And I knew they had Markelle Fultz. I didn't even recognize that Jalen has been the starter, bro.
Yeah.
Jalen has been the starter.
Yeah.
And he's been starting next to Anthony Black because apparently they see it in Black. You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Isaac can't really get on the floor like that. But Franz and Paolo are just... and I hate it for he's really a defensive menace, but somebody like him,
he got that special length.
Yeah, but somebody like him you want in the starting lineup because when he's with your second unit, if you don't have an elite second unit scorer, he's just taking up space, so you almost can't. He's almost unplayable. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a second, I feel like with a heavily offensive team. You know what I'm saying? He'd be amazing in the starting line. Like if he was to get traded to Phoenix or something, like he would just thrive in the role over there, right? But like where he is current,
my boy Bo dropping at 25 and 14.
Bruh, don't tell me you one of these Bo niggas who just feel like he was Victor before Victor. Bo has been in the league for like 20 years at this point, bruh. He is who he is.
No, this is how I feel about Bo. He's like it's kind of like what Gilbert Arenas said. He don't love the game.
Nah.
Victor is if Bo loved the game.
Yeah, 100%. And you see the difference.
He's just like he good at the game. He could do shit that you just don't see people his size doing. He just don't love the game for real.
He ain't, yeah, 100%. He ain't down with it. He ain't down with the cause like that, bro. Wendell Carter Jr. He's a bit of an issue. You know what I'm saying? Just for his length down low,
He's forgettable, but it is what it is.
but the crazy part is, bro, this team is super young. That team is super young, bro. Average age 24 and a half, dog.
That is that. Yeah,
Stupid young, bro.
that is something right there.
And so check this out. Or I might have 25. Is it 25.4? I think it's 25.4. Still super young, right? Here's what we don't need. You don't need Orlando to get their crap together and have a 4 or 5 year stretch with every single player on their team under contract. Because that's going to be an issue. All right? That's going to be an issue long term. You look at somebody like Miami. Miami's always been good per se, but they're aging out rapidly, right? And who they have coming up behind them isn't necessarily like Tyler Hero ain't going to be the best player on a team that's going to win their division on a 50+ win team. That's just not going to happen, bro. This
is a big team when you look at them too.
Who, Orlando?
Yeah, they a big team. Like,
yeah, bro.
For France,
16, you got
Jalen 6'5", Paolo 6'5", Black 6'7", Wendell Carter 6'10", and even though like Fultz, he's on the smaller side, he's still 6'4".
Like, yeah, Fultz is. Yeah, I'm about to say Fultz is. He's a big point guard, bro.
And it's funny because like people hear 6'4" and be like, "Oh, that's small," but it's like it's just amazing how you take someone 6'4", throw them.
Trey is like 6'1", bro. Yeah, like Trey is 6'1", bro. Trey is 6'1". Jalen Brunson 6'2".
Trey is a relatively big guy.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson about 6'2", 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, you look at Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson same size, bro. Like 6'3". 6'3".
Like
ish.
6'3", I think. Yeah.
Like, nah, bro.
But what's it called? Just got them long ass arms. That's why it looks so weird when he dunked to me. Because I'm like, this dude don't look like he's getting that high. And I'm like, oh, his arms just long as hell.
Oh, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider, man. Spider. But if you look at it, bro, Orlando's a long, they got length, they got the age on their side. They seem to have the right coach in place, man. Like,
yeah, no, like, that's my secondary team right now because of Paolo.
They might mess around and get into the play-in this year, bro. They might mess around into it. And with that being the case, bro, I think that would prompt, because I've always been a person saying like greatness puts a light on mediocrity, right? And if Paolo is great, if he's amazing, it's gonna let the rest of the division know, because that's the first place you're gonna feel it, is that like y'all can't really compete. You need to try again, right? So like if Orlando really skyrockets this year, I think that would accelerate the Hawks making a decision on blowing up the team for real. Just to be honest. Because if you don't feel like you can compete in your division first and foremost, you're gonna just blow it up, try again.
Mm-hmm. So what I would love to happen with Orlando is I would love them to, they obviously don't we're in a position to grab the same assets as this other team, but I would love for them to, eventually look kind of like OKC. They have the assets to draft it, continuously picking the top. But in terms of like building that team, or maybe Boston. Maybe Boston might be a better example.
I think Boston is a good example. I just don't see, because you got to remember the Tatum pick was the Kings pick, right? The Tatum's pick was the Kings pick that they just was not letting go, and then they ended up that ended up being the number one overall pick, and they swapped with Philly. You know what I'm saying? So like that you were able to maneuver the draft board because you had that solid gold pick. It was either King's pick or the Nets pick, one or the other. But it was like fruit of that Kevin Garnett trade. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
which is crazy that they gave up all that for old Kevin Garnett, but yeah, that is what it is.
yeah, but like Orlando doesn't have, to my knowledge, they don't have any conveying picks like that outstanding just laying around.
They
like,
I mean, but I think they already got like their version of a Tatum and Paolo. Like they got their star player. They just need to get a Jaylen Brown.
they do,
And that could be.
but
Suggs.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. He doesn't generate enough offense. He doesn't generate enough offense.
The thing is, Jaylen wasn't doing that off the jump. Like he had to work into that.
Jalen.
I mean, Jaylen Brown is 26. Jalen Suggs is only 21. Like he still got time to develop an offensive game. You don't make the NBA by not having, like, all these people can play offense. You don't make it to that level without having to do it. It's just roles kind of dictate certain things, but they can all shoot the ball to a certain extent.
No, 100%, 100%.
And I think Jalen and Paolo could be a nice, because like Jalen's a slashing point guard. If he can get that jumper to start falling, boy.
Yeah, but like, so here's why I think that's a tough ask. Is by his third year in the league, Brown was a 20-point scorer. It's Suggs ain't Suggs' third year.
Let me pull up. I'm pulling them up now. What is he averaging? He averaging 12 this year. This is his.
He's averaging 12, 3 and 2 right now. And another part of it is Jalen's 20 points came on a winning squad, right? So like, even if you look at, because I've always said this, like, you could put up nasty stats on a losing team, and like, let's see how your stats actually look in return to winning ball, right? So like, once winning ball started, what is your stat line now? Well, while they're winning, his stat line is 12, 3 and 2 with what? A steal, a game, steal and a half?
Here's the last 5 games. We're gonna start back on the 8th of February. He gave you 17 and 17, 3 and 2. Then he gave you 17, 3 and 7. Then he gave you 13, 1 and 1, 14. Like he's trending upwards. He's not at the 20 thing, but you also got to factor in like minutes played and stuff like that. But I think he's a player that's trending upward. But hey, for all we know, that player could be Anthony Black.
I would put more money. I'll put more money on it being Anthony Black. I honestly would put more money on it being Anthony Black next to Paolo for the next couple years. Because like his slashes don't show it, but like watching the game, dude pops. Dude definitely pops on the screen, bro.
Because he's also another top 10 pick who was pick number 6. So and he gives you rarely. It's a point guard at 6'7".
And I think, honestly, you make Jalen the more of the primary decision maker in that regard and move Black off ball and just let him focus on being an elite scorer. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you could do that, but it could also be one of them things to where like you probably just want Jalen out there just to be your attack dog.
Which is true, and you don't want to tire him out on the offensive end. Which is
it could be one of the things where like maybe in name Jalen's the point guard, but it really is going to be Black.
And then, of course, you got Paolo sitting at the 3 and 4. Franz sitting at the
Paolo at the 4.
3.
Franz at the 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then their center.
It's like Wendell. It's usually Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah, Wendell. Like they got some pieces I like. I didn't even know they had Joe Ingles. I don't know if he actually plays, but
no, he does. They traded for him. It's just I think Orlando has a lot of things that's going good for them. Right now they're sitting at 32-25. Um,
Yeah, because they have won 4 of their last 5.
to be honest with you, bro, they might mess around and get
No, actually, they won 5 of their last 6.
they might mess around and get to the second round, and that's gonna spell very bad for the Hawks.
No, Paolo about to put he about to put people on notice. Because people was like, I don't think he should have been number 1 pick. He was my favorite player in the draft anyway.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I was one of them people. I didn't think he should have been the. I didn't see it at Duke. But to be fair,
I mean, not
college football
I didn't
is
see this
yeah.
basketball.
College basketball is dying. It's dying a very slow death, and like I wasn't even I wasn't watching enough to see
No,
this.
but it's like Amon Shumpert said it best though. He said the college basketball game does not translate to the NBA. He said high school basketball translates more than college does.
Which is crazy because
like-
that kind of shows the
because,
redundancy of the game.
Yeah, it does because it's like that makes even less reason to go to college and be one and done. Because like when you look back to like Cam Reddish, because I thought Cam Reddish was going to be a guy. In high school, he was a point guard. Like, and then he goes to Duke, and then they pretty much relegate him to a spot up shooter. You take all of his strengths because he was a shot creator, attack dog with defense. He still got the defense, but you kind of like shot his confidence when you be like, okay, yeah, we love you, but we're going to put you behind Zion and RJ Barrett. You just going to stand in the corner.
Well, I think that speaks to a lot of the fact that like most guys, when you come on the team, got to learn to play a role, and like not being able to play in a role is kind of what the problem he had at Duke is the same problem he had in the league. That's the exact same problem. And like the other thing is like we understand as a big that like you have to adapt your game, right? So like if you're playing in 4-star, 3-star or 4-star, right? Or 3A or 4A, and you are 6'4", and they put you at center because you're the biggest kid out there. Everybody in the world understands that like because of your body type, you need to drastically change your game if you want to play at higher levels. Because there's no 6'4" centers, right? Like Cam.
Even like Shaq, like because Shaq tells his stories about how Shaq can't handle, and his dad said if you don't stop all this physical, stop all this dancing shit.
Yeah, so like if you look at Cam, like your body size, your body type, you do not have elite pass making ability, right? Like you are a decent ball handler, you're a decent shot creator. That's a 2. That's always been a 2 in the league, and
yeah.
you got to learn how to play with a playmaking 4, who was Zion, who was clearly the best player on the team, and a ball dominant 3. Like you're a 2. You play off ball and you catch and shoot. When given an opportunity, you create. Like, but you're clearly the third option there. That's his same problem in the league.
I think he give you more than RJ does, but that's just it is what it is.
I mean, but either way, they were both worse than Zion. Either way, they were both worse than Zion.
Zion was the crown jewel no matter what. Like I get that.
If you want to say Cam is the second option, you still got to learn to be a spot up and to create when the ball is given to you out of corner. Like this is what it is. It's what it is. And you never developed that part of your game. And you got drafted to a team that had a ball dominant 1 who you couldn't really ever learn to play off of, right? You got traded, went to New York. They end up getting a ball dominant 1 who you couldn't play off of in a playmaking 4, right? And then you go to LA and you play with Brown, who's a ball dominant playmaking 3. Like all those spots you had to learn to spot up shoot. Like whatever, that problem is the same because like you don't have elite. I'm not saying you're dumb. Like you don't have elite ball handling, ball passing, and IQ. Like you don't have elite at those, so they're not gonna have you as a 6'5" point guard. They're just not.
I mean, but I would have liked to see him at least like in like even like a Austin Reeves type role or some shit.
I think that was available to him, just not where he was drafted. Just not with the team he was drafted on. Right?
Yeah, because I ain't saying he needed to be the main guy, but I just think he would have been suited better to go to a situation that would allow him to use that aspect of his game.
The crazy part is seeing Chris Paul with Devin Booker made me think that that's what the Hawks had envisioned for Trey and Cam. Right? The only difference is Trey is a high volume shooter, high volume playmaker, bro. And he's not going to give Cam the ball enough for him to be that type of player.
Now here's the question I got for you. Do you think that the Chris Paul and Devin Booker dynamic would have worked if, you know, Chris Paul was in the height of his powers and Booker was coming into the league as a rookie?
Nah, they had to meet when they met. They had to meet when they met.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to meet when they met. Because like when Chris and granted it's completely different eras. But like if you look at what I consider prime Chris Paul, because technically Chris Paul was in his prime, his second year in the league, technically.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But if I think of prime Chris Paul was literally every second you was in LA, right? And then probably that first and second year with Houston. That's prime Chris Paul, right? They won 60 some odd.
I mean, the Houston years was fine. They did, but I like pretty much, you know, like I look at his prime as like his second contract with the Pelicans and all of LA.
Yeah. So if you look at every second he was in, I'd probably say that last year in NOLA and then every year with LA, all his second best playmakers were either off the bench. He specifically needed shooters around him, right? And not primary ball handlers. And then the people that he was assisting to the most were bigs, right? So like had he
I think his prime probably started with 1, 2. I'm gonna say his third year in the league. I mean, because I'm gonna say his third year. Because like first rookie year 16-5, his second year 17 and 8. No, 17. No, okay. Rookie year was 16-8. Second year was 17-9, and then he went to 21-12 damn near.
Yeah,
23-11.
Yeah, and then he was Chris Paul.
19-11. Like,
at that point he's just Chris Paul. Like
yeah, so from 08 until about 18, so he had a solid 10-year. But like at 18, his first year with the Rockets, and after they was like a slow decline.
Very slow. Very slow. Like Chris Paul is one of them dudes, right? But like if you take it back, he's never had a player that's just like at the other guard position that's gonna be ball dominant and really gotta get into their bag. Yeah, so like but I think that's what they envisioned.
Until he got around Harden. Until he got around Harden with the Rockets.
Yeah. But that was like tail end of your prime.
18-8.
Yeah.
That was damn near that last year. Because it was 18-9, then he went to 16-8. And then he got traded to the Thunder where he, you know, picked back up a little bit to like 17-7. Then Suns, he gave you 16-9. Then the last year he gave you 15-11. And another 14-9, and then now he gives you 9-7, but he ain't really played that many games.
He ain't played at all. He ain't played at all for real. And he's coming off the bench for the first time in his career. It's just it's Golden State was a bad fit regardless. Golden State was a bad fit regardless. But it's one of those. It is what it is. It's happening now. We done got on a huge tangent. Getting to the rest of the week. We got Utah 26 and 31. Collins coming home. Sexton, he's good defensively. Lauri Markkinen, he's averaging like 23 and 9 right now. I think, I think he's going to be a really good defensive matchup for Jalen. And I expect to see DJ on him a little bit if he's healthy and available. Utah's not having a great season, but I can't even say that 26 and 31 is an automatic win. Like, hell, that we might get drugged by Utah the way we playing. We could lose to anybody on any given night right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. We definitely ain't. We definitely ain't there.
Then we have a little worrisome stretch. So Orlando Sunday, Utah's Tuesday. Thursday, we're playing in Brooklyn, and then we're also playing in Brooklyn Saturday, which means probably gonna leave Wednesday night and stay in Brooklyn. And you're in Brooklyn Thursday, Friday, and Saturday through Saturday night because you don't play again until Monday. This is where we get into the human element of things. These are all very rich young men staying in the same city for 3 nights.
Yeah.
I think that Thursday you will get a marquee effort. Saturday, I'm going with Brooklyn. Like, this ain't the Falcons. This ain't the Falcons where it's like every week we're gonna try to mind meld our way into saying how the Falcons could win. This is basketball, right? Even the best teams in basketball, like a 50-win team in basketball, which is a pretty good team, a 50-win team, lost 32 games. You understand me? Like, you're not gonna win every game, bro. And like some of them is just like on the schedule, and like understanding and recognizing that, one, helps you bet properly, but then two, it helps you kind of temper your expectations. Now, if we lose on Thursday, I think they go game buster Saturday because I don't think they allowed out the rooms. But if they win on Thursday, I would bet any amount of money that Saturday is gonna be a bloodbath.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. It's definitely got opportunities to get real wicked.
All right, so now we get into city talk. We'll kind of close it out just a little bit. But one of the city talk things I want to talk about, we probably get into some more later, is Atlanta as a big market, right? So you'll constantly hear teams talk about, or you'll constantly hear people talk about players want to leave teams and go to a bigger market, right? I think that was a huge thing back in like the 80s, maybe the early 90s, right? But now we're so interconnected, right? If you look at it, you look in football, the best player, highest profile player is in Middle America, Kansas City. You look at basketball, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook had no issues becoming stars in Oklahoma City.
See, the thing with that is you have to be that type of player, though. Like you talking about the cream of the crop.
And I think with the interconnectedness that we already have, basketball players don't necessarily have to be that guy to get recognition. I think Trey being on that big stage in his 2021 playoff run, going to New York and Philly with two very rabid fan bases, defeating them both, helped build his stardom a bit. But you're where you are now. Grow where you're planted. I think Atlanta is a thriving market. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that like people don't consider it a big market is just wild to me, considering it's almost 11 million people in the city, right?
Okay.
Most are transplants.
Here's the thing though. Like a lot of times when you do the market talk, a lot of times it doesn't directly like refer to like the media. I mean the population. Sometimes it's just more so media perception. Like the Oh, okay. So the media perception, like, it doesn't really like Atlanta. Like in my mind, I agree with you. In my mind, Atlanta's a big market, but a lot of these media places don't look at it like that way. Because like, look at it this way, like this to shift to football. So last year, right? Who would you say were the two best cornerbacks, the two best rookie cornerbacks?
Rookie cornerbacks.
Yeah. Okay, let me help you out. Woolen
In Seattle, yeah. And
then Sauce.
Sauce wasn't a rookie last year.
Yes, he was. They were both rookies last year.
Sauce Gardner,
Not,
wasn't he?
I'm talking. I ain't talking about the season that just ended. I'm talking about last year.
Oh, like 2 years. Okay. Because I was like, yo, there's no, bro. I was drawing blanks. I was like, there's no real rookies that came up big. But okay, so 2 years ago, Sauce and Tariq Woolen.
Because
all right,
yeah, they were. Now Woolen had a better season than Sauce, but I think if you flipped Woolen into like if Woolen was in New York, that season would have been talked about a lot more. But since Sauce was in, New York, like everything's hyped up. Like people don't hype up shit in Atlanta.
that is true. And like, I'm not gonna lie, just kind of like behind the curtain a bit. One of the things that was kind of introspective for me when thinking about creating an Atlanta sports podcast is that I think that Atlanta has a bunch of passionate fans, but like there's so much more to do in the city, bro. There's so much more to do in the city that like in neither of our major sports teams outside of the Braves, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna sit here and do Braves talk. Like baseball is not something that's everybody likes the Braves, but it's not like a radio podcasty type of product. Like you can talk about it in intervals, but you can't talk baseball every day. Like the things that you can kind of, but I'm not.
There's a demographic for everybody.
There is, but that was one of the things because like our two major sports teams don't have championship pedigree, right? And in fact, don't have the lovable losers mentality. We kind of have like y'all are mid mentality, bro. Like y'all are just like an also ran team. Like you're a team that people beat to get to the championship type of teams. And I think that the past 7 years for the Falcons kind of saw a difference in that. And you see the difference in what people expect of the Falcons. Everybody makes the 28-3 jokes all the time, bro. But like that 28-3 is memorable because it happened in the Super Bowl, right? And like if you listen to Falcons fans now, there's an actual expectation for the team to be good. 7-9, 3 years in a row without having a quarterback, I think 10 years ago would have got you another season, right? I think 10 years ago, Arthur Smith makes it another season. But today's Falcons,
don't know quite about Arthur Smith, but I would say that probably will get you another regular season though.
But how this team is now, how the fan base is now, is more so like that's not acceptable.
I'm not even sure if it's just the fan base. I just think it's just the current state of the game in general. Like, because like with social media, people are able to have more vocal opinions. And it kind of, shifts the way things different. Because, like, we view the game totally different than we did basketball and football. We view these games totally different than we did even 5 years ago. Because social media gives you unprecedented access that we didn't have then.
And I think that has a lot to do with how people view quote unquote stars, right? And so, like, when you're saying a guy wants to be in a bigger market, I feel like you have eyes on you everywhere that you are, bro. I think that any person right now could give a decently informed take. Any person with like some sort of basketball knowledge could give a decently informed take on the player that Trae Young is, right? And like that comes from just literally covering the league and knowing who's playing, right? Now, that's not to say you're going to sit down and you're going to get, a breakdown of Jalen Johnson's tendencies going left in buzzer beater situations. Most people ain't finna do that. But in terms of when I look at the stars of the league, I, for the most part, know how they can play. That's why you brought up the Jaylen Brown, nothing left joke, right? It's just because, that's an actual part of his basketball repertoire, right? And, Boston, okay, it's a big market. It has a lot of championship pedigree, right? It has a lot of championship pedigree. You can't build it unless you win it, and you can't win it unless you build it. And you got to build it. And I think just giving up on this nucleus and letting them blow up doesn't get you any closer.
So question. Was Jalen Brunson voted into the All-Star game, or was he a replacement?
He was voted in.
Okay. Trey beats him in all stats.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by big market. New York's a bigger market.
But they got more wins.
That shit don't matter. When we talking about
it does, though.
That shit don't matter.
It does, though. No, it does, though. Because the thing about it is, bro, that shit is ancillary, bro. That shit is ancillary. When I tell you, because there's no set criteria. There's no set criteria. Trey had by far the most fan vote. I got this one alfalfa here sticking up.
Yeah, I ain't got no alfalfa nothing. Straight thoughts.
Nah, you got that echo?
I'm trying to. My AirPod died.
Oh no.
No, I just have to mute myself when you.
All right. So, where was I? Yeah, no. So there is no set demographic for what's supposed to happen in terms of all-star votes, right? Trey had tons of fan all-star votes, but when it came to players and coaches, one, the villain mindset kicked in, but then two, you're doing all these stats, but your team ain't winning. Your team ain't winning, right? And it's helped other people and it's hurt other people. Is one of the things that they're going to use against Trey. Right? That's just one of the things they're going to use against him.
It's not fair. It's really not fair because, I get it if you're talking about end of season stuff, but we talking about All-Star game. All-Star game is meant to get the best players, regardless of whatever in there.
And that's true, and that should be the case, but it's not going to be. So, appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for coming in for the Hawk Spot. This has been your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
And we out.
Peace.
El Chapo, looking like I hit the lotto. I want a hottie like mulatto. I'm on here and she on Moscato. I'm in them good till tomorrow. I'm a robber for the Neros. Your little laws, I'ma put you on payroll. You smell that aroma? Design in the air, it's a party in here. Papa Corona, she moving the body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what she telling me. Keep a 20 on me in case emergency. I wake up early every morning. Thank the Lord and get the bag. Hustle hard, get the cash. Stack first, then I'm showing my ass. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what she telling me. Keep a 20 on me in case emergency.
My babies, that's who I grind for. That's who I do it for. Like the Navy, that's who I'm toting that iron for. Keep one in the head like a thought, nigga. Yeah, I fuck with Ty, he a boss, nigga. Put on their neck, I exhaust, nigga. Niggas cross me, so I cross, nigga. No stripper was lit last night. 500, what it cost, nigga. Shit was really legit last night. Had them hoes at the house, nigga. Instagram, Snapchat, Triller. What they say about Jay, he a go-getter. Used to have them fat sacks in the grove, nigga. Late nights, early morning, my dough, nigga.
You smell that aroma? outside in the air, it's a party in here. Papa Corona, she moving her body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what she telling me. Keep a 20